saucer shape, and we never could get as high or as fast as they were, so to really positively identify them, but they were metallic looking and saucer in shape. And they could do a few minutes we couldn't do in an airplane, like just horizontally displace themselves rapidly, be flying along and just move over rapidly.
Gordon Cooper's UFO sighting wasn't his only close encounter. In 1958, he was as a project manager at Edwards Air Force Base in California.
I had a crew working for me on a project I was doing to put a precision landing in on the edge of the dry land. They were filming the various stages of the installation, and a small saucer apparently flew overhead and put down some landing gear and landed out on the dry lake bed, only about 50 yards out. And these were old pro cameramen who were used to flying kinds of vehicles to take all kinds of pictures. And so they picked up their cameras and started over toward it, and going to get some close-ups. And with that, it lifted up, put the gear back in, and at a very high rate of speed disappeared. So they came in to tell me what happened. I told them to get over to the lab and develop the film immediately. And I would go and look at the book, regulation book, and see what you're supposed to do, who you have to call to report these kind of incidents, which I did. And by the time they got back with the film, there was a higher and higher and higher ranked man preceding the last one, assuring me that I had to get those negatives into a pouch and that they had made arrangements already to get our commanding general's airplane reserved and take the films to Washington.
In an effort to organize open investigations of UFO sightings, Gordon Cooper wrote a letter to the United Nations in 1976, appealing for assistance. His letter stated, these are extraterrestrial vehicles visiting from other planets.
Presented to the council and certainly made a lot of people aware of a number of things that perhaps they had not been aware of before, so maybe it opened a few eyes.
Today, at age 76, Gordon Cooper reflects upon his experiences.
This universe is limitless and tremendous big universe, and we're kind of vain to think that we're the only ones that exist here.
I think it's extraordinary if a man of that caliber is publicly coming forward. Perhaps there is a sort of process of public acclamation going on, getting us used to the notion.
I think we'll find that there are probably hundreds of other planets that are habitated, and that there are all levels of civilization, some maybe at the same level we are, others that may be thousands and millions of years ahead of us in development.
In the movie Close Encounters of the Third Kind, Richards' character becomes obsessed with making contact with aliens. In a rare interview from the set, a young Steven Spielberg, Richard Dreyfuss, and government UFO researcher Dr. J. Allen Hynek explain the terminology of close encounters.
Well, a close encounter of the first kind is one is close, but nothing really happens.
Close encounter of the first kind is visible contact with a UFO.
Forget the shape and forget how fast it's going. It's something that you just can't.
Close encounters of the second kind are those which leave a physical trace. Holes in the ground,
Burn rings,
broken tree branches,
telephone lines down,
animals disturbed,
stopping of car engines.
Then the close encounters of the third kind are the most interesting of all.
Close encounter of the kind is really when you meet them.
Contact with alien life forms have been largely discounted because of the lack of any credible proof. While video and photographs warrant serious analysis, no one has ever come forward with hard scientific proof of alien encounters until now. For the first time in history, one man is coming forward with tangible evidence that he claims is proof of an alien intelligence visiting Earth. Dr. Roger Leir is a surgeon from Southern California who has been performing operations on patients for over 30 years.
So far, 8 surgeries have been performed, and with the 8 surgeries, we have removed 9 objects. The commonality, of course, is that all the individuals are subjects of the alien abduction phenomena.
In 1996, he performed one of the first surgeries to remove an alien implant from the jaw of an alleged abductee.
The gentleman that we did the surgery on for the procedure to remove an object from the left jaw was in private industry, and he had a history of alien abduction.
As with most abductees, the patient was reluctant to come forward or to have his face publicly shown.
There is a certain stigma involved with abductees. They have innate fear about telling somebody about what happened. They may feel that they may lose their job or their career may be in jeopardy, even financial loss. So there are some very practical things involved.
What you are about to see is the actual video of the first implant being removed. We must warn you, this footage is not for the faint of heart. First, the surgeon administers local anesthesia by injection to deaden the area around the implant. Once the surgeon makes his initial incision into the tissue, surgical clamps are applied to keep the wound open. Then, the surgeon deepens the incision, and an X-ray instrument called a fluoroscan is brought in to locate the implant under the skin. Once the implant is located, a probe is inserted, and the implant is finally removed. Dr. Leir describes some of the extraordinary findings discovered during this amazing surgery.
There is no portal of entry. There's no evidence how the object got inside the body. Then when we look at the soft tissues that surround the object, we find there is no inflammatory response. This is impossible because anything that enters the body should have an inflammatory response. And then thirdly, they are surrounded by a large number of nerve proprioceptors which are not anatomically correct.
Once the outer biological membrane was removed, it revealed a triangular-shaped object. This object was housed in yet another gray membrane. Remarkably, this inner membrane could not be cut, even with a surgical scalpel. The implant was then sent to Los Alamos National Laboratory for metallurgic testing.
We knew that when we got the initial report back from Los Alamos that we didn't have something that was common, because Los Alamos is a world-class laboratory and would not recommend further testing on anything that they didn't feel was strange. So it was the combination of elements that were in these objects that I think inspired them to advise us that more tests should be done.
The implants were then sent to New Mexico Tech Laboratory, where a battery of metallurgic tests were performed on the objects.
The theory that they put forth was that these were portions of meteorites. They did not know they were removed from the human body.
Amazingly, the New Mexico Tech Lab report revealed that the elements in the implants were composed of meteorites so rare, only a few had ever been found. At this point, scanning electron microscope analysis was conducted on the implants. The results revealed the implants were manufactured and not naturally occurring meteorites. Amazingly, results showed the implants had been connected to the patient's nerve endings.
The second set of tests following some of the tests that were run at New Mexico was run by University of California at San Diego.
The laboratory results from the University of California at San Diego confirmed the earlier tests. Astonishingly, a portion of the metal analyzed in the implants was extraterrestrial and did not come from Earth.
Some of the elements that were found in combination were of non-terrestrial or extraterrestrial origin.
The evidence is overwhelming. The implications are staggering. In each case, the chain of evidence has been documented, and the test results are shocking.
This could be the proof that science has been looking for. The implications of this discovery are worldwide and affect every single living human being.
But implants aren't the only extraterrestrial material Dr. Leir has been researching. The greatest discovery of all is yet to come. In the classic film of the Worlds, a flying saucer crash lands in the countryside. The military quickly converges on the crash to investigate. This happened in real life. According to some, it already has.
The Roswell incident is unique among all of the historical UFO incidents because it's the one time that the U.S. military formally